Hey, what's going on? Strat Soldier here for the weekend shift. What is going on? How you guys doing? It is March 14th, second Saturday of the month. And man, things are going to the lows. I mean, I would say finally, it's just we've been in a range. We've been trading sideways for such a long time. And finally, we're starting to get some moves to the downside. I'm pretty sure the only sector that's up is XLE. So we'll talk about that soon. But Friday to the downside. All right, scenario 3, outside day to the downside on Friday. We'll look at that soon. Before we get too far into that, go check out thestratsoldier.com. Thestratsoldier.com. That's where you'll find my courses. I got 3 courses. I have one-on-one sessions, also 2 ebooks, Zero Trading and Hammer in Force. Go check those out. Cedric says, for all the traders out there, I really was impressed with Strat Soldier's execution course. All right, go check that out. That's where I talk about the first universal truth, which is the actionable signals, right? There's a lot of people out here that's claiming the strat that talks about a bunch of weird stuff. So I used to talk to the guy, come to me, the guy who used to work with Rob directly. All right, used to work with Rob directly. So, learn the strat for real. Learning the strats on the streets is dangerous. Boy, I tell you what. Let's see. We got some people in the house. We got Terry Baker, Beach Bum. What's up? We got Brent in the house. Richard Judge. You will be judged. What's up? Aunt Jane in the house. Let's see here. Beach Bum. Yup. And then Dub Jones. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We had a really good coaching session a few minutes ago. It started at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Get in there. Check out that membership section. All right, get in there. Check out those coaching sessions. The come with daily videos to talk about what happened in the market, and come up with a daily watch list for the next day. Also macro videos. All right, and anything else. And then where you guys want. And then I was gonna say lots and lots of old content. So there's hundreds of videos in there to watch, right? It's not just those, all right? So go check that out. Yeah, with the Strat Warriors, we had a great coaching session. Good stuff. Just make sure you're on track and ask questions about your trades, all right? They're like mini one-on-one sessions, all right? We're just in a group. A lot different than what's going on here in on the weekend shift. All right, that's all. I go straight to Twitter. I don't know if there's any too many funny things out there on Twitter, but we can look real quick. In intro stuff. Let's see here. Let's go see anything funny on Twitter. All right, Twitterland. We're in Twitterland. Neo really did it. For the very first time, Neo posts first quarterly profits. All right, as shares jump 34%. Now, jumping up 34%, what's that mean? It means it went from $4 up to $5. Let's see here. Who's got their... Oh, shoot. Mr. F2 Rev posted an actual chart on here. There it is. He said they sure did. There it is. They went from $4, $4.93, and they got up to $5.86. All right, Neo did it. Wow. I was telling someone else earlier this month. I was like, stop. It might have been Mr. F2 Rev. I don't. Mr. Failed too. Maybe, not sure. But I was like, stop eating out of trash. Nobody trades Neo anymore. But they, for the first time ever, they did it. Where'd it go? First time, Neo, quarterly earnings, profitable. That is hilarious. But good for them. Good for them. Will it go all the way back to the highs? I don't know. I always on Fridays I always say let's go back and see how Rob did it. Always go back and see how Rob did it. All right. So posted a really good video, intro to the Strat with Rob Smith. If you have not seen that, go check that out. That's a really good one. Really good. Go check that out. Yeah, and then honestly, not doing too much. All right, not doing too much. Fortune trades is what will kill your account. FSLY, I didn't know this was still a thing. Shout out to John J. Out here doing it. All right, he's doing some good things. All right, to the lows. But he, making some money on that. Yeah. Didn't know it was still a thing. That was kind of funny. And then this market crash be like that. It is. It's just crawling. And I'll talk about that when we get to the charts. Not that it needs to be like dramatic and, yay, we're going to the lows. It's not that. It's just some follow through. That's what we need. We need follow through. And Friday did follow through to the lows, but I mean, it was slow. It was boring. All right. One of my proudest moments is shout out to Vincent, but interviewing Steve Burns. All right, interviewing Steve Burns. That was a really good one. Go check that out. Good interview. Anything else funny out here? This is Carlos. Yeah, this is definitely what's going on with the economy right now. This is us. This is everything else. Oh my goodness. It's just, man, we'll see what's happening. The only sector that's green right now is XLE. Shout out to Mighty Soldiers. How you doing out there? Yesterday was Friday, outside day to downside, scenario 3, outside day. I think it's funny here in the Strat, we always talk about outside days, but we never say the word scenario 3, or the term scenario 3, but we are. And that started with a 2-2 reversal back down on the 60s right here at 667.50 to the lows. All right, to the lows. We'll look at that more. Shout out to Woo. He's been doing great. All right, Woo is doing great. This is him. Oh man, he's trying to get there. But no, Woo's been doing great. He's been improving a lot. Shout out to him. Shout out to Rashad, one of the old school OGs, Ryan's out here. Zay, we'll see if Zay's out here we'll see if Zay pops in here today. Again, shout out to Mighty Soldiers. Samuel Adams. Try to look for that funny stuff. Where's that funny stuff at? Again, the market has been boring, man. So if you're making money out here, good on you. Marlon B with that. That's a good one right there. Marlon B. Good video on 4-hour bars. I think that's about it. Let's see. Not too much funny stuff out here. We had some. That was good. Let's see. So, like I said, we had some funny stuff, some funny things. We always like to laugh here in the Strat. Once you learn the Strat, these charts become hilarious. Everybody thinks it's going to the highs. Nope, to the lows, or scenario 3 in your face, back up. Back up in your face. I got one more minute, and then we'll get into what happened in the broader averages. Right now, they're having a sale here. St. Patrick's Day sale. Get into the description. Hit that link. There is some deep discounts here on deep discounts with TrendSpider. All right, St. Patrick's Day sale. Get in there, click it, get in here. And once you get TrendSpider, let me know. I'll send you my custom scanners, and I'll send you my watch list so that you will be on top of it. When you see me update the watch list on the weekend shift, all right, I hit update, and then your watch list will update on your side automatically. Pretty cool stuff. I like how they do that. So you don't have to, click around and all that stuff. It's automatic. And then when I do if you're one of the weekend shift crew, one of the members of the weekend shift crew, when I update the daily watch list, your daily watch list updates as well. Let's see here. Looks like I need to do some refresh on the page here. All right, let's get into the broader averages and what happened last week. Let's do it. All right, SPY. When I trade, I have to have all 4 time frames up just like this. I got the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and the 60. And this shows me what? Say it out loud. This shows me perfect. Nope.
Time frame continuity.
Time frame continuity. Perfect time frame continuity. This shows me time frame continuity, and right now the sellers are in control. It is 2-2 continuation down on the month. All right, 2-2 continuation down on the month. All right, to the lows. The magnitude here is 651.50 if they want to take it all the way down. If they want to continue taking it all the way down. All right, that's our next target. All right, will it get all the way down there? Not sure. In the past, I'd say I don't know. Looks like we're going back to the highs, but really, we're looking for some follow through. All right, looking for that follow through. I'm not sure we're going to get some action like this. This was last April. You saw me and JJ talking about that, but with all the war and all that stuff going on, I know we don't talk politics on the weekend shift. But with the war and stuff going on, we got to watch out for that. So again, the target 651.60. Drop it down to the week. Let's go ahead and just do that here. Drop it down to the week. All right, 2-2 down. All right, 2-2 continuation down. It's a little messy. You can see this long wick, really messy. That's what I'm talking about. That follow through. Where is that follow through at? All right, it finally went on Friday, but we've been trading sideways. All right, and we're finally starting to move down. If the price action is ever getting weird and you don't know what's going on, you can always go to a line chart. I know this is ugly. I know you guys don't like this. I know it's ugly. All right, a line chart, but it's easier to see, okay, this consolidation. It's easier to see, okay, we're just trading, sitting at the highs, all right? And now we're finally starting to come down on the week. All right, we still got our broadening formation. We're starting to finally, and it's just confirmation of the trend, all right? So, like I said, if it ever gets weird and it's hard to see what's going on with the candles like we normally want, drop down to change it to a line chart. You can always flip it back because it's easy to see, okay, this is definitely going down. It's easy to see this is definitely going up. All right, but with this, the sideways action, starting to finally get out of that. All right, so let's go back to our candles. All right, go back to our candles. So there you go. All right, there you go. Now you can kind of see that a little better. All right, you can see that consolidation a lot easier. Again, now starting to go to the lows and follow up on that. Will we go Momo Shooter? It is Momo Shooter on the week. Will that continue? All right, we finally took this guy out right here, back here. Will it continue? All right, will we get down to 651.50? All right, will it do that? That's what we're looking for. And then going to the daily. Go ahead and leave the labels on for the kids in the back. Scenario 3 right here. Bam, to the lows. All right, scenario 3 to the lows. All right, took out the highs and then came back through. And then once you see it go past 665.88, you know it's for real. All right, it is for real to the lows. Here's our level of reclaim back here, and it went all the way back down that range. All right, if you took this 322 back down on the 11th and then held on, good for you. Good for you. All right, because it did it. All right, it did it. It went all the way back through this range here on the scenario 3 on the daily, back on the 9th. Went all the way back down. Triangle they out. Triangle they out. Took out the highs, took out the lows. Now let's see where it goes. And then the 60s. All right, since we got the labels on, we'll drop down to the 60s just because that scenario 3 on the week. That scenario 3 on the day started with this shooter in force. Here's the very first hour of the day to the highs. All right, comes back down, forms a shooter, and you're like, hold on a minute, hold on. I don't think I really want to be in these calls. I don't think I really want to be in these calls right now, you know, for example. And it opens up at 668.98, comes up a little bit, and then once it gets below 667, 73, you know what's going on. All right, you know what's going on. They're selling. All right, they are selling. Oh, excuse me, I was trying to find my mute button and I couldn't find it. I'm back. No mute there, so excuse me. But 2-2 down. All right, 2-2 down on the 60s. That created that scenario 3 on the day. All right, let's change this back to the month, and let's take those labels off so there's not so much stuff on the charts. But during a coaching session, I was talking about time frame continuity, and I was talking about starting with the month. You always want to start with the month. Who's in control, the buyers or the sellers? All right, right now the sellers. Right now the sellers. Dow Jones a lot sharper, 2-2 down on the month, taking out all these guys here. All right, is it going to be strong enough to get down to a 458.02? That's the question. All right, here's your week, your days, your 60s. QQQ. All right, it is red, it is 2 down. You know, you can see it's not as sharp as Dow Jones. Dow Jones definitely enforced to the lows, got that follow through. QQQ, not so much. All right, it's not really getting killed here. It is trending down, but not really getting killed. The magnitude here is 580.52. All right, 580.52. Definitely big Momo shooter on the week. All right, and all these bars stuck in these bars here. So we want to see if they get down here at the bottom of this broad information here around 581. So RSP, S&P 500 equal weighted. All right, gives everybody the same weight. The big guys and the little guys, you can see moving to the lows. Small capper, same thing, moving to the lows. 212 down on the month. Volatility with VXX, UVXY moving back up. All right, volatility with the VIX. All right, and then these are VIX products. Shout out to Marlon B because I know he trades TQQQ and SQQQ. All right, TQQ going back to the lows, SQQQ going back up. All right, yes, SQQQ is the inverse. It is the inverse. All right, this was made. SQQQ was made so that people that only go long can still express themselves in the market without, you know, having to buy puts. All right, without shorting the market. That is why it was created. Utilities. All right, utilities. This is a defensive name. Inside on the month still, and 2 down on the week, but came back up green, and then shooter on the day. So not a lot going on here. They're not really getting back in the utilities. Retail back to the lows. All right, shooter in force on the month, taking out all these guys. The magnitude $77. 51 cents. The next target, I'm sorry, the next target is $77.51. TAC, again, same thing like QQQ, got a Momo shooter on the week, but not really getting murdered here. If that goes in force below 135.27, the next target is 133.84. XLE, it is 2 up on the month. I know it's not green, but it is 2 up on the month. All right, it's all-time highs. We want to see if that continues. All right, want to see if that continues. You will have to drop down to the stocks that are not at all-time highs in XLE. All right, but it's moving to the highs. It's still in there. Right, it's still good. IBB Biotech's 312 down on the month. Scenario 3 inside bar 2 down. All right, that's what that looks like. 312 to the lows. All right, it goes in force right here at 169.50. All right, to the lows. To the lows. So biotech's going down. All right, like I said, every sector is going to the lows. That's the good part. Like, good part meaning there's follow through. All right, everyone's kind of doing the same thing. Healthcare, 212 down. XLP, consumer staples, inside on the month, 2 down on the week. All right, and then semiconductors, inside on the month. Let me see here. Hold on. Nope, 2 down on the month. 2 down on the month by like a penny. 2 down on the month. All right, and forming that ugly shooter on the week. Probably going to open up inside a week though, okay? So we'll see what they want to do there. Semiconductors. All right. So that's what happened last week. I got 4 minutes on this, and then we'll go into actionable signals for next week. AMD, if you're looking at SMH, you got to look at AMD. All right. AMD, 2 down on the month. All right, now creating a shooter on the week. All right, now Momo shooter on the week. No. Shooter on the week, and 2 down on the month. Excuse me, on the day. This shooter in force on the day took it all the way down and created that shooter on the week. All right, this is a good example of triangle out. Buyers came in. Anybody who bought this got taken out. All right. And you would have saw this on the daily watch list with the daily videos with the Weekend Shift crew. All right, we talked about this, and shout out to Terry Baker. He took advantage of that. All right, took advantage of that thing. So shooter in force on the day. Back here on the it went in force on the 12th. 2 good days there. And then if that shooter goes in force on the week below 188.75, that could be a good place to add. And then continuing to the lows here, all right? Maybe 179.17, all right? So, and then the bottom of that broadening formation, the bottom of this magnitude on the month here is 160 and some change. All right, and then we're getting back into this level of reclaim back here if we do that below 187.28. All right, now I'm not saying we're getting all the way back down to 135, but if it starts getting back, starts getting through there, especially if we hit 160, we definitely want to start looking at, okay, where's the bottom of that range there? Where's the bottom of that level of reclaim? All right, so we want to look at that kind of stuff. AMD, same thing with NVIDIA. NVIDIA, all right, not really getting killed, still green on the month, inside on the month. All right, shooter on the week now. All right. And I did put these on the watch list because I was like, all right, we got 322 back up on both. We'll put them on the weekly watch list, and then they again triangle they out. Same thing right here, 22 back down to the lows. Now I'm going to show you something. All right, SPY goes. You're watching. You should have at least 2 monitors. If you can handle it. All right, at a minimum 2 monitors. One has this, which you're actually looking at. Let's just say you're going to have two monitors. One that has the broader averages on it, and another that has what you're actually trading. All right. So when you see SPY go 2-2 down, form a shooter, it goes 2-2 reversal back down on the 60s. Let's go back to NVIDIA. Same thing. All right. 2-2 back down on the 60s. That's the kind of stuff you want. All right. You want to find things that are doing the exact same thing as SPY. All right. It definitely gives you a lot more, because now you're trading in the direction of what the rest of the market's doing. All right. Now you're riding that wave, not just not trying to get some domino effect on something. All right. You're really working what's actually happening. All right. Trading what you know to be true. The entire market's going down. All right. Let me get on NVIDIA. 2-2 back down on the 60s. All right. They're doing the same thing. If you can. That's just an example. The options on NVIDIA are expensive. Wow. All right. Let's get to actionable signals for next week. We're going to quickly go through what happened in the watch this last week, and then we are going to get to the actionable signals for next week. Let's do it. All right, we in the tank. Where's my ammo at? Where is my ammo? Hold on. Where is my ammo? Hold on. Give me a second here. Give me that dang ammo. I can't get in the tank with no ammo. What the heck? What am I doing? Gotta have that ammo. Gotta have that backup. All right. Oh, anyway, gotta have that backup. Let's look for actionable signals. Let's quickly go through what happened last week on the daily signals. Weekly signals from last weekend shift. AM, TM. And the reason why we do this real quick is because, a lot of people are like, well, does the Strat work? I don't want to put a bunch of money in the Strat if it doesn't really work, So we review what happened last week into this week, all right? Yes, you could do that on your own. But it's a lot more interactive, and we're all doing it together. All right, we're doing it together, and you can physically, but you can see for yourselves what the Strat is, what's it doing, what actually went in force, what actually worked. AMT did go 2-2 back down on the week to the lows, took out all these guys. All right, that was a win. That was a win. All right. Take it off the list. You can leave it if you're gonna. You can leave it on your list if you want to continue to lows on that. 2-2 back down on the month. Dominion did go in force. 2 up on the month. 2-2 back up on the week. It did go in force, but didn't go very far. All right, didn't go very far. But that was good for day trade maybe. GameStop did go 3-2 up, 3-1-2 up. It didn't hit magnitude, but came back and then came back down. All right, there's that. Came up, consolidated, didn't do much, and then snarled through on the day back to the lows. All right, to the lows. Look at this. Golly, look at that shooter in force. Sheesh. All right, go back to that example I was talking about earlier. Go back to SPY. Oh my goodness, go back to SPY. Like I said, shooter in force on the 60s to the lows. All right, let me go find something else doing the exact same thing. All right, GameStop, shooter in force on the 60s, and then it never comes back. Oh my gosh. All right, never comes back. That's how you want to do that. All right, that's what you want. Confirmation. There's some confirmation. All right, no actionable signal for it. Well, yep, we got a shooter on the week for next week, so we'll leave it on the chart. Let's see if that goes in force below 23.54. All right, not a lot of magnitude on that first. As soon as it goes in force, it's going to hit the trigger, but it's going to hit that first target. But if the bottom of that scenario 3 is 22.86, 2286. 2281. All right, so let's see what they want to do there. Take that back to the low. So we got some leftovers. All right, we got some leftovers. Let's remove that flag. Boeing to the, we had a possible 2-2 reversal back up on Boeing. It did not go in force. All right, so again, a lot of people say, I hear some things like, well, the Strat will fake you out. No. The Strat will not. If this, here is our actionable signal. Here's our actionable signal. It would have went in force at, we were looking for this thing to go in force at 231.95. All right, that could be some orders. That could be a stop market buy order right there. If that does not go in force, what do we do? What do we do? Say it. Put it in the chat. What do we do? If it does not go in force, if that actionable signal does not go in force, what do we do? Come on, chat. Wake up, chat. What do we do? That actionable signal does not go in force. What do we do? Let's do this. If the actionable in force, what do we do? Boom, Q&A right there on the chat. What do we do? All right, what do we do? What do we do? Nothing. That's right, Dub Jones. That's right, Sam. Thank you for joining, Sam, and thank you for getting in the chat, Sam. Do nothing. Terry Baker says, move on. Move on. That's right, move on. Brent says, nothing. Do nothing. Now, if you're a trader and or a strata, and you're like, okay, well, let's go on 2-2 continuation down. Let me find a way into that. And you got this 2-1-2 down, and you're working it. That's a different type of situation. All right. But if we're looking for this thing to go 2 up on the week and it does not go in force, we do nothing. All right. And James says, keep pushing. That's right. Move on to something else. Move on to something else. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, Stratters. That's what, and that's what I'm talking about with the community. All right. With the Stratters, right? We all see it the same way. We might trade it different, all right, but we see it the same way. That's the value. That's another valuable part of being here on the weekend shift and being in the chat, because when we all see the same thing, and we're like, you can ask one of your buddies, like, what do you think about that? He's gonna be like, I don't know, man. That did not go in force. I don't think I want to get in on that. I don't think you want to get in on that. Good stuff. Good stuff. Invax did go 2-1-2 up on the week. Didn't do much. It was good for a while. It was good for a few days. All right, right here, and then back to the lows. Now we have a shooter on the weekly for next week below $9.82. The magnitude is $9.23. I know that's not a lot, but if you are going long, you might want to monitor that. So we'll leave it on charts. We got some leftovers. We got leftovers, folks. Snow shooter on the week. It did go 2-1-2 up. Didn't do much, all right. But now we have some leftovers for a possible rev strat down. What's a rev strat? 2-bar rev strat. All right, 2-bar rev strat. Inside bar, 2 up. Now we're looking for a 2 down. All right, 2 up, 2 down. 2-1-2 up. Excuse me. 1-2-2. 1-2-2. All right, so we're looking for something like this. Inside bar, 2 up, 2 down. All right, this is a 2-bar rev strat. Very powerful move, all right? Powerful move, because it's a 2-1-2 up that fails. Does not working anymore, no good. Now we're going to try, whoever bought in here, we're going to triangle out all those guys back to the lows, all right? Again, that's why when you learn the strat, these charts become a lot funnier, because you're like, oh, snow, you thought you was going to the highest snow? Get ready to melt. Get ready to melt, because we're going back to the lows. All right. So that's a 2-bar rev strat. Starbucks, a shooter on the week. It did go 312 up. Took out this guy right here at $100, 101. Didn't quite get up to 105, but it is 212 back up on the month. All right, so there's buyers in there. This could be the rest of the market pulling it down, of course. All right, so let's see if that goes in force below $96.92. The magnitude is 94.45. Ideally, what we always start with the month. All right, so what we would want is maybe this does go down for a little bit and then reverses back up and the buyers stay in there. All right, maybe. All right, so that's what we're looking for. T-Mobile inside of the month, but it's green. It ends as a hammer on the week. We'll leave it on the watch list. It did not care what the rest of the market was doing yesterday on Friday. It did not care. 2-2 reversal back up above 215.30. The magnitude was 219. It didn't get the magnitude, but look at these 60s. All right, all day. Did not care. It did not care what the rest of the market was doing. All right, took all these guys out. All right, everybody who's in here shorting this thing. All right, took them all out. So T-Mobile, that was awesome. Again, leftover for next week. Let's see if that goes in force above 220.62. The magnitude's 224.72, and it goes up on the month at 224.84. Okay. UNH, let's go ahead and take that off. I'll adjust the flags in a minute. UNH, 312 down, but came back up. It's doji. No actionable signal for next week. Didn't do much. Get it off the chart. Get it off the watch list. Goldman Sachs Garage Salon, continuing to lows. Momo shooter. Again, if you're going to take a Momo shooter like that, you got to find a reversal to get in on that. All right, find a reversal to get in on that. That happened on the 9th. So on the 11th, that's when you would get in. All right, 2-2 back down. All right. If you're gonna take a Momo shooter like that, you have to have a reversal that goes back into time frame continuity. Okay, you don't just want to just jump in on that. All right, that's dangerous. No actionable signal for next week. Looking for some more lows. Took out the first target on the month at 808. The next one is 756. 756.36. That's the next target. These did go 2-2 back down on the week. Didn't hit magnitude, but that was good. I want to show you this right here. 3-3 on the man. People right here on these 60s. I know this is a 60-minute bar, but people were getting chopped up in here. All right. Wow. They were getting messed up in there. Battleground. All right. This is what I'm talking about. These snare 3s. People want to mess around with snare 3s. You know, maybe we'll get a 3-2 up. And it did go 3-2 up. It did. But you got to make sure, I always say, make sure that price does not get back into that old 3, or else it's gonna get stuck. And that's exactly what it did. All right. Failed. Came back through all the way down and then chopping around, being messy. All right. That's why you don't want price to go back down into a previous 3. All right. No actionable signal for next week. Trying to get through these things. Now is the time to put some tickers in the chat. Put those tickers in the chat. AMD shooter on the week now, below the level of reclaim at 199.80. Let's see if this goes in force below 188.86. Same thing with NVIDIA. All right, so we got pretty much the same watch list as last week. And in NVIDIA, let's see if that goes. Probably going to open up inside week at 180.35, but let's see if that goes in force below 175.78. The magnitude is 171. So yeah, we took a few things off of here, but pretty much the same. All right, I get it. All right, but we do have actionable signals. We want to stay in there. Put those tickers in the chat, wherever you want to look at. Put those tickers in the chat. It's also time, if you have questions about the Strat, put those tickers in the put those questions in the chat right now. Okay. Excuse me. Anything you guys want to look at, whatever you guys want to look at. Oh no, you guys didn't hear my. Oh no, you guys didn't hear anything. You guys didn't hear any of the, oh man.
We're going to take this baby out.
You guys didn't hear any of my, you guys didn't hear any of my, things. Anyway. Oh well. Verizon. Someone said give me Verizon. I'm looking at my preview here, and it looks like there's a lag here on here. I don't know how far I'm lagging, but you guys are talking to me, so evidently everything's okay. Verizon. All right, Verizon. I got some ugliness on the chart here. What is happening? This whatever this is, I thought this was a bad ticker. All right, I thought this was a bad tick, and it's not. Evidently that happened. It never got cleared up. Usually when there's a bad tick, they get cleared up by TrendSpider quickly. But this happened. All right, so it's messing up the automatic broadening the auto broadening formations that get drawn. So that's why this looks ugly. You're like, wait a minute, what's happening? So we got the bigger broadening formation on the month, and then we got the small guy, this subtri. But yeah, this is definitely messing all that picture up. All right, so it's green on the month. All right, it's green on the month. 2 up on the month. Make sure that's on the 2 up on the month list. So when the market is going green, you know where to go. 2 up on the month. Here's your weeks. Wow, it's been doing great. All right, now Momo hammer for next week. Verizon, it's not at all-time highs. So if you want to get in on that, it's going to have to be above 51.62, and you're going to have a reversal back into that. All right. You don't want to just take a Momo hammer like that, a 2-2 continuation like that. So be careful. I know some people out there are not going to put that on their watch list because they're like, that's a 2-2 continuation. I get it. But Verizon, you can still be in that. If you're in that, you can stay in that. All right. There's no reason to get out. No actionable signals that show this is slowing down. All right. Good stuff. All right, so we got shooters on everything. We got a lot of shooters out there. Let's go through. We got a lot of shooters out there. Let's go through tech. Looking for shooters on tech on the week. All right, why? Why are we looking for shooters on tech? Hold on. Oops. Oracle, we got to talk about Oracle. But XLK, shooter on the week, that's why. All right, XLK, shooter on the week. So I want to find any other stocks that are doing the same thing. All right, shooter on the week. All right, so when this goes in force, I'm following stocks that are doing the same thing as that sector. Now we are trading a simultaneous break. All right, simultaneous break. That means all these stocks doing the same thing. Zay's in the house. What's up? Put your tickers in the chat. What do you want to look at? I see some other people out here. Let me go through some tech real quick, and then I'll get some more tickers from you guys in the chat. Autodesk inside on the week. Let's see if that goes in force below 248.93. I know we're looking for shooters, but 243 is the magnitude on that for some possible downside action. AMD's already on the list. ANET, let's see if that goes 322 back down below 129.13. The magnitude is 122.98. Let's try to focus on some things that are really getting beat up here. Inside on the week, APH, it is red on the month. Let's go 120. Below 128.74, the magnitude is 126. We'll put it on there. Inside on the week. AVGO, that's a good shooter. 322. All right, 322. Looking for it to go below 320.65. The magnitude is 307.70. All right, that's a good signal. Let's look for shooters. Let's strictly look for, yes, we can scan for these, and for the other sectors we're probably just going to scan, but there's a lot of, you're going to learn a lot by just going through these charts manually. All right, CRM inside on the month. CRM already 2-2 down, 2-1-2 down on the year, 2-1-2 down on the year. All right, on the quarterly, 2 down on the quarter. All right, on the month, inside on the month, and possible 2-2 down on the week. All right, let's see if that goes in force below 190.65. The magnitude is 174.30. All right, so I already have evidence that they want to sell. They want to get out of CRM, Salesforce. All right, let's see if they keep doing it. All right, let me get a couple more, and then we'll get into the chat. Looking for those good shooters. Something's already hit. I did see IBM inside weak. IBM inside weak, closer to taking out the lows. Let's see if that goes in force below 245.26. The magnitude's 233. Let me see, any good shooters, any more shooters? That's what we're looking for. Microsoft inside on the week. All right, still looking for those shooters, but we might put Microsoft on there. MU back to the highs. It says it does not care what the rest of the market's doing. Does not care. Oracle, we got to talk about Oracle. All right, then I'm going to get into the chat. But Oracle shooter on the week for next week. All right, that goes in force below 147.02. The magnitude's 141.44. All right, definitely putting that on the watch list for the week. All right, and then look at this thing. All right, on the broadening formation on the month. All right, is it time? It did go 2-2 back up on that earnings report, but is it going to keep going to the lows? All right, are they going to keep selling this? That's the question. It did go gap up, and then when we see a gap up, we look for the 2-2 reversal back down, and that's exactly what it did the very next day, below 160.88. All right, and then here is the 60-minute chart. All right, so it did go gap up again. When the price gaps up, we look for that reversal back down, and that's exactly what it did. 2-2 back down below 165.63. All right, and it did it all day, and then gave you another chance the next day. All right, to the lows, to the lows.
Finish him.
All right, all right, to the lows. So definitely on the list. Let's see what's in the chat. All right, someone said Verizon. Yo, Zay made it. He said, I made it. All right, in Arizona watching. Jimmy, what's up, man? Soccer about to start. All right, good, good. Hopefully it's warm out here. It is cold here. XLC looks ready to puke. XLC. XLC, let's see, communication sector, yeah. Already puked a little bit last week, and if this thing goes below 113.55, we could see a lot more to the downside. All right, not really getting murdered in here, but yeah, definitely going to lows. So when you see XLC communications, you want to look at, we already looked at Verizon. All right, it's doing pretty good. All right, Verizon's doing good. All right, let's go look at AT&T. All right, doing all right. All right, so the communication sector not really getting like murdered, but you know, what you can do is let's look at communications, telecommunications. All right, bam. All right, we got all these stocks we can look through. All right. All these stocks we can look through that confirm what we're seeing on XLC. All right, it's about to puke. T-Mobile's doing all right. I didn't know Roku was in telecommunications, but it is. Back to the lows. All right, so you're gonna look for those ones that are showing, you know, some of that weakness, some of that downside potential. Okay. Good call, Zay. Very cool. Very good call. The big guys are holding holding tight, but these little guys looks like they want to come down. All right. Look at this one. Yeah, whatever it is. Matthews International Corporation. Yeah, they want to get out of that. They want to get out of that. All right. So there you go. That's how you do that. They're on, and that's how easy that was. All right, here on TrendSpider. All right, all you gotta do is communications. All right, telecommunications right there. All right, and then they got all these other preloaded watch lists in sectors you can look at. All right, that's that easy. That easy. Let's see here. Someone give me voice sounds raspy. You good? I hope I'm not getting the cold. I don't know. Hopefully one of my kids out there are coughing right now, so hopefully I'm not getting it. I feel okay. APD, give me. So I think I saw APD earlier. APD, all right. 2-2 back up on the week. That was last week. It did not care what the rest of the market was doing. All right, the rest of the market is going down. APD said, "I don't care." Back to the highs. All right, we did get some downside on Friday, but APD looking good. Let's see, no actionable signal for next week. If you're in that, you can stay in that. All right, we got buyers in there. Dang allergies, yeah, yep. Knee says, "Give me knee." Knee's been doing great. All right, not at all-time highs just yet. Right, it's close. It was. It did get up to all-time highs, but let's see here. The easiest way to look at that is on the year. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Knee's doing great. Knee is doing amazing this year. So, possible 3-2 back up on knee. If you want to put that on your watch list above $93.78. All right. So $93.78. The magnitude is 95.96. All right. Let's see what they want to do there. 95.96. ADM. All right. Looks like I got some old stuff on the chart. ADM, 2 up on the month. Put that on your 2 up on the month watch list. 2 up on the month. All right. So 3-2 back up. Scenario 3, 2 back up. 3-2. Bam. Above $70.43. All right. Back to the highs. Back to the highs. All right, a little messy here, but back up. Arch Daniels. No actionable signal for next week, but you can still be in that if you are in that. All right. The good thing is this is not at all-time highs. All right. So we got some more room to work on that. Also, give me MOS. All right. MOS, 2 up on the month. Scenario 3 on the week. Probably going to open up inside week next week, above right there at $29.42. That 2-2 down on the day. Wow, that really gap fill right there. But that definitely took them down. All right, so MOS, Mosaic. Let's see what they want to do next week. All right, AXTI. AXTI. All-time highs. Jeez. Wait a minute. Yeah, there it is. AXTI hits yearly targets now. 3 on the week. 3-2 expansion, maybe. All right, and that would be full time frame continuity to the upside. I don't do extended Fibonacci's and all that stuff, but you'll be trading in outer space. All right, because there's no more targets to be taken out. With the strat, what we really want to do is trade against people in losing positions because that speeds up liquidity. Right now, again, you just be in space. So that does not mean this won't go. All right, it could go. Doesn't mean it won't. It just means there's no more stops to be taken out. We call this exhaustion risk. All right, but if you're in that, good on you. All right, I don't know what this is. It looks like they cured cancer back in September 2025. Right, $3 and it never stopped. It never stopped. All right, Oxy. All right, Looking for a 3-2 up on the Oxy above $59.18. All right. Looks like they want to keep going. What would be the target? Hold on, sorry about that. Possible target right here at $61. $61.59. All right. A good one after that one, 64.69. All right. But Oxy, again, this is another one that is, but the rest of XLE sector is at all-time highs. Your Chevron's XOM, you know, they are at all-time highs. This one is not. All right. So you definitely want to look at something like this. All right, because you got some more room to go. Oxy 3-2 up. Necessarily don't put 3-2s on the watch list. If you want to get on that, go ahead. All right, that's a good one. That's a good one. You want to get in on that. All right. Marvel possible 2-2 back down. Right now, really kind of doji, but possible 2-2 back down at $84.33. The magnitude is $75.42 if they want to take that down. It is 2 up on the month. All right, so this could be just getting taken down just because the rest of the market's been, you know, went lower. So we'll watch it. Possible 3-2-2 back down. All right, we'll get that. TTD. Inside on the week, man, look at this thing. All right, it did go 2 up on the month, which is good, but wow. All right, super crazy downtrend. It's got, for this thing to keep going, it's got to get back above $31.37. It is inside on the week. Do they want to take that thing above $29.17? The magnitude is 32, which would take that back 2 up on the month. Or do they want to go below 26.17, back down to 23? All right, we'll watch it. Inside on the week, we'll watch it. Inside on the week, Fang. You skipped Fang. Where did I see Fang at? I didn't see Fang in there. No one put Fang in there. All right, we'll go to Fang. Let's go to energies as a whole and look for anything, because it's the only sector that is green. Let's go to Fang Energy. Bang, Momo Hammer. All right. You need a reversal on the daily to get in on that. You do have some room on Fang, which is good. Let's see what that does above 186.54. Bang. Bang, do your thing. All right. Let's look for some actionable signals in energies that give us a reason to get in. Let's see here. Halliburton probably looks like it wants to go to lows on Halliburton. HP. All right. HP not at all-time highs. That's good. And then HP possible 322 back up above $35.91. The first target's 36.33. The top of this little range right here is 36. But it could get you in on something right here. All right, you want to hold that longer. It could keep going. Okay. KMI possible 2-2 back up. It's at all-time highs though. I want to look for something that's not all-time highs. Energy is doing great though. It really is. Again, XOM all-time highs. COP, EOG still cooking, yes. Still cooking. COP still good. All right. EOG still good. Still good. Steel. Pivot machine gun on the daily on TTD, right? Maybe. If that goes in force 212 back up above $29.16, yes. Possibly go back through all of these. All right. Good eyes. Good eyes. It could possibly go back through all of this. All right. And then keep going. So we'll see. If it hits magnitude on that week, yeah, that's definitely going back through all of that. So we'll see. But TTD, it's got to, they have to, if the buyers really want to get in there, they got to go, because it's been, you know, the trend's been down for so long. So long. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's go to the Strat Soldier Easy Setup Scanner and go for the rest of the shooters on the week. Shooting Star, S&P 500. Let's see what we got. It doesn't like it. It didn't like it. There's a lot more. Come on, there's a lot more out there. Let's go inside. Ooh, yeah, we're not going to put all these on here. That's a lot of inside weeks. We're not going to definitely not putting all these on here. But just looking for some more stuff to put on the watch list. We did talk about Microsoft. Where'd you go? I thought I saw you. Microsoft, inside on the week. Let's see if that goes below 393.88. That first target's 391. The one after that one's 382. All right. Lily, that's really expensive. Let's see here. McDonald's. We got McDonald's at home. That's what you tell the kids when they're begging for McDonald's. We got McDonald's at home. Possible 312 down below 332.29. Next target is the magnitude's 320. The one after that one's 315. Let's see what they want to do there. Merck, possible 312. Nope, MCK, that's $900. Let's see here. Marna, 2 up on the month, but let's see if we get that 322 down below $51.37. The magnitude is 48.23. Intap, Peg. Looks like that's some upside action. Palantir, what do you want to do, Palantir? 212 up or 212 down? 212 up is above 159.16. 212 down is below 149.24. Weekly. Just trying to put a little bit more things on here so we get something to look at. Target, 2 up on the month. Most retail going to the lows. Let's see if that goes below 115.68. The magnitude is 111.65. Weekly. LB. All right, what's up, Evan? How you doing? Thanks for being in the chat. LB. Land Bridge. 2 up on the month. Looks like it's brand new to the world. Possible 3-2 back up above $76.59. And the magnitude is $85.23. All right. All right. We want to look for hammers, shooters, inside bars, but if you want to put that on the watch list, go ahead. That's good. That's a good one. Verizon, not Verizon, that's VRS. That's VeriSign. Sorry, VeriSign. Inside on the week, that goes 2 up at 251.47. This goes in force at 244.19. So if this goes in force on the week, that'll put back 2 back up on the month. VeriSign. Let's go ahead and look at that. I got another LYB. All right, low key cooking. LYB. All right, LYB. Yep, it's moving. It's moving. No actionable signal for next week, but it is moving. Okay. Very good. Very good. Let's see here. What's it doing on the year? Coming out of the ashes. All right. What's it doing on the quarter? Ooh, yeah. 2 back up on the quarter. All right. Yep. I don't know what they do, but they are doing it. They are doing it. Back to the highs. Very good. Very good. So let's look at Redwire real quick. What is it? Let's look at this one. Still inside. This is for Zay. Probably, does this thing want to go 212 back up above $10.04? Is that what it wants to do? It's inside on the month, so kind of stuck. I want this thing to go two up on the month and show me that the buyers are really in there. But then we'll put it on the watch list. Just give us something to watch. All right, let's look at the weekly watch list. There's a lot of signals in here for inside weeks. I need to clear up all these flags. But this is what we got right now. We got a lot of leftovers from last week. All right, Invax, Snow, Starbucks, all right, AMD, Nvidia. Some new ones, Verizon, trying to go back to the highs, ANET, Autodesk, all right, lots of tech. Most of these are tech. We got some oil in here. All right, trying to get some, mostly tech. All right, Marna, healthcare stuff, Palantir, all right, mostly tech. So that's what we got for next week. Looking for tech to go to the downside, all right? Looking for tech to go to the downside. We'll see what they want to do. Let me get out of this tank. All right. Now, I could sit there and I could go through healthcare and Labu, IBB, which is biotechs, and keep going through all of them and put everything on the watch list, all right? But we don't want 50 tickers on the list. You really, not really, because unless we're trading simultaneous breaks, then we're going to trade everything doing the same thing. But with tech showing us some downside action and then looking for a couple of signals to get in on energies, I think that's good. We got a couple healthcare in there as well. Thank you everybody being in here. I really do appreciate that. I feel like the energy of the show started slow and it started picking up speed. It always picks up when we start looking for actionable signals. I appreciate you guys being in here. It's always fun. Go check out thestratsoldier.com. Check out my execution course. All right. And if you watch this whole thing, you don't know what's going on at all, check out the Strat starter kit. All right. You get 2 ebooks, Zero to Trading and a Hammer and Force, and you get one of these coffee mugs. All right. Get sent to your house. All right. Sent to you. Get in there. Do it. Thank you so much. And then go check out, go to the membership section of the YouTube channel. Check out Strat Warriors. Check out the Weekend Shift crew. I do daily videos, coaching, and then you also get macro videos and just a lot of good content. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Brent, Richard, Judge, Zay, Evan, Aunt Jane. What's up, Jay? We got Jimmy's in the house. He's doing soccer right now. Terry Baker. Thank you so much, Sam. Dub Jones. Beach Bum in the house. Thank you, everybody. And then I know Ryan's always here. Thank you, Ryan. And I will see you guys through the week. All right. Have a good week. Be careful. All right. And keep creating winning positions, add to them, and defend them with tight stops. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.